Hey Stats class, let's look at a couple of these questions of what type of hypothesis test are we conducting based on the setup of the test. So remember, this is what we mean by a setup. The null hypothesis, where the mean or the proportion of the standard deviation actually falls, and then the alternate is where we think it should be, or an alternate, something that's the opposite of this. So if this is not true, if the mean is not 120, then it could be less than that, it could be above that, or it could just be not equal to that. And those are the three different types of tests we have down here. This would be if it's above that. This would be if it's below that, and this would be if it doesn't specify, if it's just not equal. It could be above or below, and that's why we have two tails. So the way that this is worded, or the way this setup is done, is this is less than, and in a bell curve, if I drew a bell curve, there's my peak, the mean is right there in the middle, there's the claim mean. This is like the null hypothesis. It's saying the mean is 120, so there's 120. But the alternate is saying, I don't think the mean is actually there. I think the mean is going to be less than that. So if it's less than that, remember this is a number line down here. If it's less than that, then that means we think it's going to fall to the left of this 120. And the way we test it is we create a tail down here. We'll talk about the cutoff later. But there is a cutoff, and we think that we're going to be way to the left of that cutoff because we think it is less than that. The mean is less than this value. And that is what we refer to as the left tail. That's the left side. This is the right side. But we don't think we're going to be there. We think it's going to be less than. So we think this is going to be a left-tailed test. Alright, so we select that. And then it asks, what is the parameter being tested? Well, obviously it's the mean because it says it right there. This is your parameter. A null hypothesis is always a parameter is equal to some number, and the alternate is that same exact parameter is in some way not equal to this number. And again, not equal could be below it, above it, or just simply not equal to it. But they are going to match the null and the alternate. Left of the order symbol, right of the order symbol, but just not in the middle. So mean, 120, 120 equals, and then again some form of not equals.